Hello, welcome back to Let's Talk H.P. Lovecraft, the playlist here on Let's Talk, where we are systematically going through the complete fiction of author H.P. Lovecraft, reviewing it and sharing our thoughts. Today's story is He, written in 1925, first published September 1926 in Weird Tales. So we have this wannabe poet who is looking for inspiration. He moves to New York from his home in New England. He quickly realizes that this is a mistake. He finds that the art community there is fake and disingenuous. And coming from New England, he finds, these big concrete structures and endless alleyways to be sort of cold and dead by day. But he takes to walking the streets by night, looking for inspiration, looking for beauty in unsuspecting places. And one night, walking in Greenwich, he meets a cloaked old man who he inexplicably follows. They walk through the labyrinth of alleyways, up a hill, through a gate, and into eventually a musty old house. They go up the stairs, and the old man locks them together in a small room with a couple of windows. Looking out the window, with a snap of the finger, there is a flash of light from the old man, and he's able to summon into view the same location but at different times along history's timeline. At one point, the modern structures, the endless sea of roofs that he should be seeing are replaced by the old village that once there, the original Dutch settlements. And then another time, he sees a catastrophic future when the city is built up even larger than it's ever been, and then there's, strange rituals taking place. And then there's also a version where it goes back to a time when there were no settlements except for natives, and the land was essentially a undomesticated swamp. The old man, he goes on to tell the narrator the story of his ancestors settling this place, building a homestead with a wall, but there was a problem with Native Americans who held this place special, constantly jumping over the walls to access their sacred site. The ancestor, he makes a deal with the Indians. He pays them off with rum in exchange for their knowledge of this place, which is apparently special. The Indians drink all the rum and mysteriously die, as if perhaps they were intentionally poisoned. As the tale comes to a close, but the narrator is hearing from the old man, we hear the sound of moccasined feet on the steps. A tomahawk cuts its way through the door, and a blackless, formless shape comes in and takes the old man away. The house, which is old and musty and rickety and apparently ancient, it collapses. The man falls through the floor. He scrambles out of the rubble. And there is the wall that used to surround the original settlements. He climbs the wall, but he faints, and the next morning, presumably, he is found collapsed in a New York City modern alleyway. And after that, he moves back to England because, his whole time in New York City really sucked and traumatized him for life. That is a fairly standard thing in the Lovecraft canon. It's arguably autobiographical. We know that he, at one point in his life, for work and for love, moved to New York, and he obviously longed for his native home of New England. But aside from this obvious commentary on the art scene and on city life, there's also, these glimpses of a past time out the window, which very much reminds me of course, the classic tale, The Time Machine. We even get a glimpse of, some weird future when that's far beyond where we are today. We get a hint also of the issue of the original Dutch settlers, mistreating the natives and basically stealing their land. But also, that is juxtaposed against the sickliness of the modern time. So what we're getting here is a very nihilistic view of time. Apparently, the past was bad. the present was bad, the future's going to be worse, and you know, for this narrator, there's sort of there's no safe place. You know, he went to New York looking for inspiration, looking for something better. He did not find it. But ironically, or not ironically, maybe fittingly, there's no place like home, and he goes back to New England, and hopefully, if his nightmares don't haunt him too much, he will have a good life. It's hard to say. Alright guys, those are my thoughts on He by H.P. Lovecraft. It's a good little tale, take you 20 minutes to read. Some of Lovecraft's best work is the shorter stuff. It's very concise, and he doesn't get away from himself. So on the scale of all the Lovecraft stories that I've read, I would put this in the top 25% so far, and I highly recommend it. So if you're interested in Lovecraft, that may be a story you want to check out. And otherwise, tune in again soon for more reviews of H.P. Lovecraft here on Let's Talk. Please subscribe. And until next time, keep it creepy.